Welcome back to The Witch Show. Tonight we're exploring...
Mail's hole, baby! A bottomless pit, a cosmic garbage chute,
Oh my God,
and probably where Taco Bell gets its meat
Please,
from.
can we not start with fast food conspiracy theories?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rational. You think it's just a regular hole?
rational.
Holes don't get government roadblocks, buddy.
A roadblock.
Holes don't bring back vans full of men in suits.
More
This
creepy
isn't a
van
pothole.
conspiracy.
It's the end-user license agreement of the universe. And it's bottomless.
The only thing bottomless here is your lack of evidence.
Wrong, dude. The only thing bottomless is the hole and the breadsticks at Olive Garden. Coincidence? I think not.
And then, of course, we'll also be discussing the so-called black-eyed children phenomenon.
Oh, don't get me started on those little creeps. Hi, mister. Can I use your phone?
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
sure,
dude.
kid. Let me just hand my soul over, too.
There's no proof of any of these encounters ever happening.
No proof? Tell that to my Ring doorbell camera.
Really?
Well, okay, fine. It was just a raccoon. But
Yeah,
it had
exactly.
really dark circles. It could have been a child on a juice box bender.
You really need therapy.
I have therapy. It's called Reddit at 3 a.m.
And for the main discussion, we'll be examining the so-called time mirror theory.
And which is obviously what happens when the universe looks in the mirror and goes, ugh, is that really me? And then glitches out like a bad Zoom call.
That is not how physics works.
Physics, please. The missing 411 is literally the patch notes of the simulation. People don't
You're
vanish
insane.
in national
You're
parks.
actually
They
nuts.
lag out. They despawn. Ever see someone's shoes
That's
turn up
not-
15 miles away?
15 miles?
That's not a mystery. That's a bug report.
A bug report?
Yeah, dude. A
God, I
freaking bug
regret
report.
everything.
Don't worry, buddy. I'll keep us safe. I got duct tape, a compass, 3 McChickens in my backpack.
Are you sure you didn't want to add a couple of cheeseburgers?
Cheeseburgers? Oh, yes. I freaking love
Oh, dear
cheeseburgers.
God. Here we go again.
Strap in, folks. By the time we're done, you'll never look at a hole, a kid, or your bathroom mirror the same way again.
I can't with you
That's
anymore.
totally fine, because they can. Now hurry up, do the thing. You know the
Yes,
thing.
yes, I know. Welcome to the Witch Show. Dude, come
Okay,
on,
sorry.
please.
No, I got
Thank
excited.
you.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Can I just do the
No,
thing?
yeah, dude, shoot,
Really,
sorry.
dude?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
all right.
Okay, just go. All right, go.
Okay, I'm gonna go. We're good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
Good. Go.
Okay.
You got this. You got this.
Welcome to the Witch Show, where smart meets stupid and somehow makes sense. My name's Georgie, and I'm thinking out loud, so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Witch Show. From what I think seriously to you.
WITS, The Witch Show.
Cool story, bro.
Welcome back to the Witch Show. You already know what time it is. It is time to dive headfirst into the weird, the creepy, and the conspiratorial. Tonight's episode is one that's been sitting in the shadows for a while, waiting for the right moment to surface. And episode 13 feels like the perfect time, doesn't it? 13, the unlucky number, the cursed floor missing from hotels, the date horror movies love to release on. And it's perfect. We're officially in October. And tonight, we're not just dipping our toes into a mystery. We are plunging into a pit that some say have no end, staring into eyes that some say have no soul, and walking alongside the people who vanished into thin air, leaving only questions behind. These stories definitely got the creep factor to them, but only one of them was requested by a fan and a friend of mine. Ashley, you're an OG. As always, thanks for listening to the show. By the time we're finished, you'll never look at a hole in the ground, a knock at your door, or even your own reflection quite the same way again. And if you haven't had a chance to check out my Facebook page yet, make sure to go give The Witch Show a like, hit that follow button, and share it with as many friends as you can. We post daily, strange, mysterious, and creepy stuff, all the cool topics from the podcast, and more. It's the perfect place to chat with me, dive deeper into episodes, and even share your own creepy stories. And remember, if they're creepy enough and I like them, I might even feature them in my next episode. That being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Let's start back in 1997. Picture it, late night radio, the kind of program where people call in with UFO sightings, ghost encounters, and government conspiracies. The host is Art Bell, running Coast to Coast AM, the place for weird America to tell its secrets. So a man named Mel Waters calls in with a story that seems too strange to make up, but too wild to ignore. He says he owns property near Ellensburg, Washington, and on his property sits a hole. Not a well, not a mine shaft, not some random ditch. This thing, according to Mel, is bottomless. The locals use it like a dump. They throw in refrigerators, mattresses, car parts, even dead animals. But get this, the hole never fills up. And stranger still, it never made a sound. Nothing clanged at the bottom, nothing splashed, no echoes, no sense of distance. Things just vanished. So, Mel, being curious, he decides to test it. He rigs up a spool of heavy fishing line with a weight tied to the end of it, and he lowers it down. 1,000 feet, 2,000, 10,000. By the time he stops, he lowered it more than 80,000 feet. 80,000 feet. Think about that. That's more than 15 miles long. And still, he never feels it hit the bottom. That right there already breaks physics. The Earth's crust isn't even thick enough to support such a straight shaft. But Mel swears it happened. Then the story starts stacking. People claim that when they burned trash in the hole, the flames didn't glow orange, but black, like the darkness itself caught on fire. A hunter swore he tossed in the body of his dead dog, only to see the same dog alive and well later on. Mel even says that when he lowered a radio into the hole, it started picking up strange signals, voices, music, broadcasts from nowhere. Now here's where it goes full X-Files. Not long after Mel shares his story, government officials supposedly show up. Black vans, roadblocks, the land fenced off, men in unmarked uniforms. Mel claims he was strong-armed, silenced, and eventually relocated out of the area. After a few years, he disappears, completely from public view. Skeptics, of course, say it's all a hoax, that Mel made it up for attention, or maybe even that it was a prank caller who created one of the most enduring modern myths. And maybe they're right. No one's ever pinned down exact coordinates, there's no photographs, and the idea of the bottomless pit, well, that's not new. It runs deep in human storytelling. Indigenous tribes in Washington spoke of spirit pits, places where you didn't go near, places that swallowed things and held them. Across the world, you find similar tales. The Hellmouth in medieval Europe, the volcanic Gates of Hell in Iceland, the Seven Gates of Guinea in voodoo tradition. Folklore is full of holes and chasms that connect our worlds to others, sometimes to underworlds, sometimes to the heavens. Maybe Mel's Hole is just a modern retelling of that archetype, slipped into the static of late-night radio. But maybe, just maybe, it was real. And if it was, then it may not have been a hole at all. What if it was a rupture, a tear in fabric and reality? Ooh, maybe a fixed anchor point where time and space fold in on themselves. If that's the case, throwing something in it doesn't just send it downward. It sends it sideways, into a different layer, into a different world. And if things can go in, what's to say things can't crawl back out? I don't know about you, but that's creepy. Anyway, Mel, if you're listening to this, bro, I got some pallets. I gotta get rid of them, so can you maybe drop me some coordinates in the comment section? I promise I will not tell anybody where this is. Maybe just a couple of people. I'm kidding. But let's go ahead and shift some gears here for a minute. You're not in Washington anymore. You're at home. It's dead of night, 2 o'clock in the morning, the streets are quiet, your lights are low, and then 3 soft knocks at your door. You check the people, and you see 2 kids standing there. Hoodies up, face pale. They say they need to use your phone, or maybe they need a ride. But something inside you, the part of you that's older than language, screams that something is very wrong. And then they look up. Their eyes aren't human. No whites, no irises, just pure, solid black. These are the Black-Eyed Children. The legend really took off in the 1990s when journalist Brian Bethel in Texas shared his own story. If you've never heard it before, the story goes that he was sitting in his car late at night when 2 boys approached him. They were asking for a ride. As he spoke, he felt rising dread, like every instinct was telling him to run. You know that feeling, the gut instinct, the one that's just in there and it's just bothering you, like there is something seriously wrong with this situation. So then he sees it, their eyes, black, bottomless, like ink spilled across the whites. He immediately sped away in terror. His story concluded, and suddenly others began sharing their own. People across America, eventually across the world, claim to have seen them, and the reports share uncanny similarities. The children appear in pairs, they show up late at night, they ask to be let in, whether to your house or your car, or even just to use your phone. And witnesses describe nausea, panic, or paralysis when confronted by them. Pets go crazy, dogs bark and growl, cats bolt under furniture, even electronics glitch. And always, the children insist, we can't come in unless you invite us. And the last part is probably the most chilling. It ties directly to old vampire lore. Evil must be invited across a threshold. In Middle Eastern folklore, jinn also operate under rules of consent. Even fairy tales speak of tricksters needing bargains or permission to cross into human spaces. Why would a simple urban legend carry echoes of century-old myths? Unless, of course, it isn't just a story. Skeptics say it's nothing more than creepypasta, internet horror born in the era of chain emails and message boards. Some psychologists suggest it's a form of sleep paralysis. The figure at the door is a hallucination, and fear fills in the rest. But the consistency of the reports is what's unsettling to me. People who've never met from different cultures, decades apart, they all describe the same pale faces, the same monotone voices, the same black eyes, the same begging requests. Let us in. We can't come in unless you invite us. So what are they? Demons in disguise? Aliens in human camouflage? Interdimensional travelers trying to cross the seam? The scariest possibility is this. Maybe they're not predators at all. Maybe they're simply displaced. Maybe they're from the other side of the mirror, trying to cross back in. But they're bound by rules that we don't understand. The asking, the knocking, the waiting for permission. It's like they're running a code we can't decipher. And if they are from somewhere else, maybe Mel's Hole isn't just a story about bottomless pits. Maybe it's about an opening. And maybe the black-eyed children are the ones trying to come through it. Which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle, the time mirror theory and the missing 411 glitch. Oh yeah, it definitely ties together. The time mirror theory suggests that reality isn't solid. It's reflective, like a cracked mirror. Most of the time our reflections line up, but every so often the mirror bends or seems open and we slip. That's deja vu. That's the Mandela effect. That's seeing your doppelganger walking on the other side of the street. It's the universe stuttering. Now think about the missing 411 cases. David Paulides, a former police investigator, has spent years documenting thousands of strange disappearances in national parks. At first glance, they look like tragic accidents. Hikers lost, children wandering off, hunters caught in weather. But when you lay them side by side, patterns emerge. Take Dennis Martin, for example. In 1969, he's 6 years old and he's playing hide and seek with his family in the Smoky Mountains. He ducks behind a bush, steps out for like 1 second, and then vanishes. The search involves Green Berets, hundreds of volunteers, and bloodhounds. But there's no trace, no footprints. A family nearby reported seeing something big and hairy carrying a child through the woods. Dennis was never found. Or look at Jared Atadero. In 1999, just 3 years old, hiking in Colorado's Comanche wilderness. He ran a little ahead on the trail. When adults caught up, he was gone. Years later, his shoes were found, perfectly intact, along with his clothes neatly laid out. His remains were discovered scattered in the wilderness. But here's the bizarre part. His shoes looked brand new. Any hiker knows that shoes wear down fast in rugged terrain. How did a toddler's sneakers survive years outdoors without a scratch? Let's go further back. In 1938, 4-year-old Alfred Bielhertz was walking right behind his parents in the Rocky Mountains National Park. They turned around and he was gone. Later, hikers reported seeing a boy sitting on a ledge high above a canyon far beyond where any child could have climbed. By the time rescuers reached it, the ledge was completely empty. No tracks, no boy, nothing. Or take Montana Hunter in 2014, an experienced outdoorsman. He disappeared during a solo trip. His rifle is found, propped neatly against a tree. His boots and pack are left behind as if he just decided to walk off barefoot into the wilderness. No tracks, no struggle. The man was never found. I mean, the patterns repeat. Children vanish within eyesight of adults. Search dogs lose scent suddenly. Often at boulder fields near water, bodies turn up in possible places. Clothing is removed or found folded. Shoes are either missing or look untouched. And over, sudden storms roll in right after the disappearances, shutting down searches and their efforts. Now, rational explanations do exist. Hypothermia leads to paradoxical undressing, wild animals scatter remains, searchers miss clues in rugged terrain. But the sheer amount of cases and the repeating weird details make it hard to ignore. So what if these people aren't dying the way we think? What if they're slipping through seams in the mirror? Water, granite, storms, all liminal forces. Thresholds between states. Maybe those are the conditions that thin the walls of reality. Walk into the wrong spot at the wrong time, and you're not here anymore. You're there, on the other side. That could explain why Dennis vanished in seconds, why Alfred appeared at the ledge no boy could reach, why Jared's shoes look brand new, why dogs lose scent like the trail just ends. Because maybe it does. And here's the chilling thought. If people can fall through these seams by accident, what else can come through on purpose? Maybe Mel's Hole is a permanent rapture. Maybe the black-eyed children are travelers trying to cross back, bound by rules we don't understand. And maybe Missing 411 is the evidence, the receipt, that the seams are real, and we're walking over them every time we step into the wild. When people hear terms like Missing 411 or the Black-Eyed Children or even the Time Mirror Theory, it's easy to file them away in the same mental drawer as urban legends or internet creepypasta. But the deeper I've gone down these rabbit holes, the harder it's been for me to shrug them off as mere entertainment, and that should disturb all of us. Take the Missing 411 cases, for example. These aren't just a handful of random disappearances, they're a statistically odd cluster of people vanishing under extremely strange circumstances. And it's always in national park areas or wilderness areas, places supposedly under government oversight. Patterns repeat, shoes neatly left behind, clothing folded or found miles away, search dogs losing the scent as if the person vanished into thin air. And of course the storms the next day that shut down the entire search party altogether. And these are patterns that are consistently showing up. And yet the National Park Services doesn't maintain a public centralized database of these disappearances. Why? That alone suggests either gross negligence or something more deliberate. And when you start to pair those things with the cases like the Black-Eyed Children stories, the picture gets even darker. These accounts of pale, uncanny kids showing up at doors or cars at night asking to be let in with eyes as black as ink, they don't just echo folklore about vampires or changelings. They sound eerily like test subjects or proxies, being designed to provoke a response, to test human psychology or even collect something intangible like energy or compliance. The detail that people report an overwhelming sense of dread or mental fog in their presence, that's not normal folklore. That's behavioral research territory, like MKUltra's psychological experiments crossed with like the paranormal or the entities. And then there's the time mirror theory, the idea that certain places, structures, or even experiments can create a feedback loop in time, like a standing wave of reality that reflects moments back at us or erases people entirely. The government's known for doing experiments like this, not just our government, but all kinds of governments. So it would make sense that it's not just, here in the United States. It's all over the place. We just know about it here in the United States, well, because one detective decided to look into it. It's wild at first glance, sure, but when you read the declassified documents about programs like Project Stargate remote viewing, or HAARP's atmospheric research, or the Montauk Project rumors about time manipulation, it stops sounding like pure fiction and more like a series of dots that we've never connected publicly. Imagine if the missing 411 locations are hotspots of these time mirrors, accidental or intentional, and the Black-Eyed Children are somehow connected. Either manifestations coming through from the other side or controlled encounters to gauge how humans react to a break in reality. The government's silence, the lack of cohesive data, and the odd reoccurring details could all be pieces of a much bigger, much scarier puzzle. This isn't about paranoia or wanting a good campfire story. This is about acknowledging that if even a fraction of this phenomena are real, then people are vanishing, unknown entities are approaching us, and the fabric of time itself might be under experimentation, all while agencies we trust either look the other way or quietly facilitate it. To ignore these theories is to risk being blindsided by something that could already be affecting our lives without our consent. These stories might sound like fringe material, but so did MKUltra before it was proven real. So did COINTELPRO. So did Operation Paperclip. I mean, I could go on. The fact is that history shows that government experiments in secret, often at the expense of ordinary citizens. And when you line up the oddities surrounding the missing 411, the Black-Eyed Children, and the time mirror theory, the possibility that we're looking at the edges of another hidden program, one that manipulates space, time, and even the people caught in it, starts feeling less like a stretch and more like a warning we should heed before it's too late. To say that our government or any government entity wouldn't do this is ignorant. Think about it. I mean, it's happened so many times in the past before. Personally, I think that this happens far too often, and the more I go down these rabbit holes of these conspiracy theories, the less I trust the governments. It's like reading 2 + 2 = 4, but refusing to believe that the answer is 4 and that it's actually 5. It just does not make sense. But I'll leave that up to you to decide. Seriously, tell me what you think. Put it in the comment section. Go in there and tell me your thoughts. I want to know. And if you don't want to put it on my Spotify account or the podcast show that you're listening to, go to my Facebook page and check it out. DM me. I want to hear what you think. So there you have it. Through the pit, the eyes, and the mirror. Mel's hole, a pit that swallows matter, time, and maybe souls. The black-eyed children being at the threshold, waiting for permission to enter. The missing 411, people who stumbled across the mirror seams and never came back. Maybe it's folklore. Maybe it's hoaxes and exaggerations. Or maybe it's all true, and reality itself is far less stable than we'd like to believe. And if that's the case, the next time you're out in the woods, don't wander too far. Next time you're staring in the mirror too long, maybe break eye contact. And next time there's a knock at your door in the dead of night, ask yourself, is it really just a lost kid? Or is it something else, waiting for an invitation? Either way, make them Venmo you $5 before you even think about letting them in. Also, if you're hiking in the woods, tie your shoes tight. Apparently, that's the first thing reality likes to steal. And I don't know about you, but my wife just bought me the dopest Jordans, and I'm about to wear them things everywhere. I would be livid if I lost them shoes. Until next time, my dudes, this has been The Witch Show. Stay weird, stay listening, and remember, if you hear a knock tonight, don't answer it. Or do. Who knows? They might just be trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Either way, I'm Georgie, and as long as they don't get me, I'll be thinking out loud, so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Witch Show from What I Think Seriously to You.